What's good, YouTube? It's Jib, and we are back today with the infamous, the GOAT himself, Mr. Lucas Sacco. What's good, Luke?
Hey guys, if you want to check me out, I'm in the description box down below.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today, we are going to be looking at the different board breakers going into the next format. We just had a crazy ban list. Everyone is wondering, what should I be playing? Hand traps, board breakers, mix? Well, you guys are going to find out today. Let's start. So, the first one we have here is Cosmic Cyclone. How are you feeling about that card, Luke?
Um, this card it's like okay. It trades 1 for 1 into Draco Tail. You like get out one of their things. Into Yummy, you can hit their field spell. Everyone likes banishing minion. But honestly, it just doesn't do enough into like every deck. It's just such an average
Yeah.
card that I think it goes into meh, I guess, maybe even homeless for right now.
To be honest, I think that it should probably go into homeless. I think that this current format, this card was very slept on. It was definitely a lot better than people gave it credit for it because no one really played it. Like against Yummy banishing their minion, they had no way to recover it. It was pretty strong in that aspect. Also against Vanquisol, banishing their Snow Devil in the draw phase because you knew where it was. Just forcing that disruption so you could try to play through the board was really good. But now Vanquisol is completely out of the format, and against Yummy, we now have Marshmallow, which can recycle minion infinitely. So this card is completely unplayable in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, this tier list is supposed to be pre-dude, but even like pre-dude, it's bad.
Yeah.
And like it gets even worse. So definitely homeless there.
Next card is Book of Eclipse. I would say that I think that Book of Eclipse is pretty meh, in my opinion. I think that against Yummy, it's a strong card, and I think that is gonna be something that we're gonna be saying a lot throughout this tier list is that this card is strong against Yummy. But because Yummy's not good into breakers. But against the other decks that we're expecting, Mitsurugi, this card is unplayable, terrible. Draco Tail, unplayable, terrible, and Lunalight, you can't even book the Liger. So I think that this card honestly can maybe even be in homeless, but I think that this card is actually pretty solid against Yummy, which is going to be keeping a lot of these cards from being in homeless, in my opinion. What do you think about Book of Eclipse?
Yeah, I think this deck had, or this card had some playability last format into Vanquish Soul specifically. It was really good because it also outed the like Canine Quick Play spell to upgrade. But with that deck like less prevalent in the format, I think that Book of Eclipse definitely falls down like super far.
I agree. The next card is Evenly Matched. What do you think about Evenly Matched? I'll let you start this one off.
I think this card's buns. I've hated this card for like a little over a year now. Like every deck that is getting released into Yu-Gi-Oh is always super good at recursion, right? Like they always set up like a good amount of follow-up. They're always able to hide their disruptions in other places. That's what actually makes a deck good. And so the fact that you are like activating a card like Evenly Matched that can almost always be like any other card in the game, like it could be a Raigeki, it can be a Lightning Storm in most situations, but you also give up your battle phase is wild to me because as you give up your battle phase, your opponent, their whole goal right now is not, hey, I have to stop him from putting up monsters. Their whole goal is, ooh, mine, 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 mine. And they just try to eat as much follow-up as they can and just collect follow-up, collect follow-up. And now you're having to play against like a half board plus like 4 or 5 pieces of engine they're going to have in their hand for next turn. It just gets really scary. So I think this card's awful. Homeless bad.
Homeless it goes. Homeless it goes. All right, next card is Change of Heart. I think we could be really quick with this. This is homeless. Like this card is not good.
Bad.
Similarly with like Mind Control, I don't even see Mind Control on this list, but like Mind Control, Change of Heart, they're just not very well positioned right now. Like, what do you're Change of Hearting a Mirakuma? Like, this is just not gonna work. Same thing with the Draco Tail monsters. Their monsters are basically vanillas. Like a lot of their real disruption is in the back row and then cards in hand. Against Yummy, everything is a quick effect to tag out as soon as you activate anything. And then again, Liger is a card. So a lot of breakers are checked for that reason. The next card is Dark Ruler No More, and I would actually, this is the first card we'd put in good, in my opinion. I think that this card against Yummy is enough for this card to be in good. Like, this card deals with multiple disruptions from the Yummy board, in my opinion. And against a deck like Crystron is also not terrible, which is a deck that we should talk about because that deck does get affected by breakers somewhat. So
Yeah.
against like Crystron and then Yummy, Dark Ruler is a pretty solid card.
Yeah. Any deck that usually sets up like an Omni Negate as part of its board, Dark War is going to be good against. I think that a lot of the decks right now are like really weird, like mid-range floating decks, to where like their disruptions kind of just like pop up out of the back row, or they're like already on the field, but like negating them doesn't really do too much, or they come from the hand, things like that. Toward Dark Roller doesn't do that much, but against the decks that it does hit, it's very powerful against them. And so I do think it definitely deserves its spot in good.
Yep. The next card is Pankratops, and I really want to know your opinion on this, but I would put Pankratops in meh right now. I think that its main application, again, is against Yummy, but I think that there are better breakers against Yummy than Pankratops. I think Pankratops trades fairly poorly. It's similar to a card that you were talking about in Disdain earlier, Evenly Match, where you're wasting your battle phase, the recurring resources, and it's not really dealing. And I would say, unlike Evenly Match, where it's like perma removing multiple resources, um, Pankratops is usually just 2-for-1ing.
Yeah, I don't like Pankratops. I feel like a lot of people were really hyped about this card because it's a cool card. No one is going to complain about summoning a cool looking dinosaur from their hand that blows stuff up, right?
Yeah, I'm
He's
a fan
cool.
of Pankratops.
He looks cool. I rock with him. But he's just bad right now. Like we're probably not going to get back to a format where just summoning Cyber Dragon with a little bit of a boost and a pop is good for a while. Um, it's pretty much only good into Yummy, and even against Yummy, it doesn't even out their whole board. It outs like a half board if they make it with Fua. And so I'd probably just leave it where it is.
All right, next is enemy controller. Um, he's homeless with his buddy Change of Heart. They're both homeless. They're in the same camp. But yeah, that card, it's like Change of Heart, but you have to waste a body in order to do it. Next is Chalice. Chalice is another homeless card. Homeless, homeless, homeless. So
It's
many.
real bad.
I feel really bad about it. The next one, all right, now we're talking. Dropless, I would put in best. I think Dropless of the Breakers is really, really powerful. I think this card is actually good against all of the top decks except for Lunalight. I think against Mitsurugi, this card is decent. You like when they prayers tribute their Mirakumo, bring it back. You can try to snipe it there. You can snipe their IP against Draco Tail. When you activate other cards or summon a monster and they try to like horn you or flame you, you can chain droplets, negate their Gremlin, negate whatever floodgate monster. Some people are playing Kaliga. You can negate multiple of their cards, dodge their trap cards. I think is pretty good. Obviously against Yummy, this card is great. Can be interacted with, and it negates multiple cards.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason this card should not be best. If there was a category above best, I'd put it in that. The card just works very, very well into boards. Another thing that I think is not talked about enough with this card is the turn 0 interactions with it. If your deck plays into Azuna, like the fact that you can like let them Azuna you can let them dump Lupus, just like make sure that their Lupus is in their hand. They summon back the Lupus, then you can drop with the Lupus, and their Lupus is just like not a hand trap anymore. It didn't disrupt you. You're able then to like remove the Lupus from the field and just let it get banished for the rest of the game. I think that just has like such good interaction for that as well to pair it into every other deck in the format. It's just a great card.
Mm-hmm. Next is Gamma Seal. This one is a little bit weird. I would put it in Homeless, to be honest. I think that it's only playable against Lunalight. And the thing about Lunalight is a lot of the times if they're going uninterrupted, right? Or like one hand trap, they're setting up double Liger. So if you're gonna play like a tribute style card, you want something that could deal with multiple Ligers at once.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just not good enough.
Yeah. The next card is Inscription. This is another one I would put in best. I think that Inscription is really powerful going into the next format. I don't know what your opinions on it. Well, we're about to find out. So what do you think about Inscription?
Inscription's cool. It's a card that I haven't looked at like super in depth just because I haven't tested the decks yet that can play this card. But using this card into a Yummy board is obviously very strong. Being able to call they can't revive from the graveyard is going to be very impactful. The fact that it's also like a good go first card is super insane. Because it covers multiple things is pretty great. Like with Yummy being like quote unquote the deck to beat, I think playing a card that says that they can't Yummy is obviously gonna be good.
Yeah, and then against like Mitsurugi and Draco Tail, you can call no effects in the graveyard, which is extremely powerful at like stopping them on their own turn. It's basically a floodgate when it goes first, and then a breaker going second.
Yeah, I agree. I think this inscription card is very powerful. Then we have Harpies. I think that these back row removal cards are going to be very, very good. And the fact that they brought this and Lightning Storm as like a 4-of package, I think that both of these cards kind of go hand in hand into at least the good or best category.
Yeah, I would put them in good for sure. I think that they're at the top of good. I think these cards are really good, and I think they're going to see a lot of play this format.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very happy with them like around this era. Do you think Lightning Storm is better than Harpies or the other way around?
I think Lightning Storm is obviously a little bit more versatile, right? Being able to destroy monsters too, especially like sometimes like if your opponent doesn't set a bunch of back row, or you just want to like force an effect, you can go Lightning Storm, call monsters. It just clears like bodies. Like it's a good card,
Yeah,
definitely.
I agree. I think the only like main difference between them is that you can like thrust into Harpies, and so you have like a little bit more versatility. If you play thrust, you can do it in the middle of your turn.
Hmm. Next is Herald of the Abyss, another homeless card. I don't think that this card is very good, in my opinion, at
It's
all.
a it's a kaiju that's like a spell card. It's like it's
Yeah.
like fine. It's not great. Probably not
Um,
playable.
ne- yeah. Next is Fenrir. I put Fenrir right next to Pink. I think it's meh. I think it's a little bit better than Pinkertops in my opinion because at least replaces the body, and I think it applies more pressure because it's like a effect that can be used multiple times, so your opponent kind of has to deal with it. You know.
I really disagree. I think this card is really good in Yummy actually. I think dropping this card as like your first action like puts so much pressure on them because like to remove
Okay.
this, they do have to activate a monster effect. And if they have minions set up on their field, like your Fenrir banishing their minion face down, their Marshmallow can't save that. I think that's something that we
That's
didn't get to
true.
see in the OCG because Fenrir's banned over there for some crazy
Oh
reason.
yeah.
Yeah, they banned the wrong Earth monster. I think they.
I actually I actually learned about that while like helping some people with worlds testing. I didn't know Fenrir was banned. I was like, what? Fenrir is banned. I thought it was at one,
Dude,
honestly, but
it's bad. I think their Rate Sauce at one and their Unicorns at one too. Like they really
yeah,
hated Kashtira.
they were like, yo, this deck has to go.
Yeah.
All right.
But because of that, because it like fully takes minion out of the game, like 1,000,000%, I think it goes in there. The fact that it replaces itself, I mean, honestly, if you're playing something like Draco Tail, having more monsters is obviously going to be a fantastic thing. And this is like a good go first card too. Like if you're just playing generic board breakers as your choice of non-engine, having cards that are versatile is very important. Like Droplet does the same thing going first as it does going second. Fenrir does the same thing as it does going first, going second. Something that doesn't do that, Dark Ruler, right? You can't like Dark Ruler your opponent if you go first. And so I think Fenrir gains some points just because it is versatile like that.
Mhm. Okay. The next card is Kurikara. I would put this card in homeless. I think this card is only usable against Lunalight. And against Yummy, it is usable, but I don't even think it's that crazy. But against Draco Tail and Mitsurugi, this card is unplayable.
It's bad. It's awful.
Yeah. Next is Lava Golem. This is the only kaiju type card I would put above homeless, to be honest. Because at least against Lunalight, it clears double Liger, or if they end on Liger Baguska, Liger SP, like you're clearing both of them. Obviously, this card is specific because of it restricts you from normal summoning, or it takes your normal summon. So not every deck can play it. But the decks that can play and have an issue against Lunalight, I think this card is pretty solid.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Metal Tronus. That's one that I think is really interesting. I think we should talk about this card for a little bit. This
Yeah.
card is really cool and yummy because into the mirror matches, like kind of like how it was with Malice, like it kind of starts your engine. Being able to just like activate Metal Tronus, point at their Snatchy, and then just like summon a Cupsy from your deck is super cool. It gives you another line of play. It's interactable or like disruptible into their board. And then on top of that, like this is a fantastic card going first. Like you set this card, they normal summon a Cookie, a Cupsy, it doesn't matter, it's gone. Just banished, gone. Don't care anymore. It's gone.
Yep.
I think this card could find itself into the best category just based on how we're valuing the Yummy matchup while doing this list here. What do you think?
I think that I would agree with that, other than the fact that it only really has that insane value in the mirror. Like other decks can play Metatronus for Snatchy, but I don't think it's nearly as good. I'd put it in good though. It's definitely a really strong card against Yummy, in my opinion.
Okay. We're in good. Do you think it's like
I'll put it at the bottom just because like it only really shines in the mirror, in my opinion. Like a lot of the other cards above it, like other decks are gonna be playing these cards.
right? Well, one thing that we should talk about this is into like K9 decks, you can use Metal Tronos target Snatchy and you can summon Ojama. Which one is it? Is it Ojama King? Whichever one's level
Ojama
5.
Knight.
Ojama Knight. He's a level 5 Light Fiend. Light Beast, whatever it is, it basically negates Snatchy and it puts a level 5 into rotation. So there are other cards that you can, or other decks you can play this in to like hit certain matchups and things like that. The main thing is like I think this is just the best mirror match card like in the game. It's so powerful.
My favorite spell card of all time. I think it's for sure. Like I love Metatronus.
And Raigeki.
Raigeki, I would put this card. I want to put it in good because of how good it is against Yummy, but I think it deserves to be in meh. Like it's not good against anything else. I put it at the top of meh, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Pankratops.
Yeah, for sure, it's better than Pickatops.
Um,
Next is Salesman. I think Salesman is a all right card against Lunalight, right?
mhm.
It's weird because of the Hound in the graveyard. Like, obviously they're gonna just negate it, but I don't know. Maybe at the top of homeless, if that even means anything. But like, what do you think about Salesman?
I love this card. I told you to play this card at YCS
Houston.
Houston. Yeah, I don't
Yep.
think you listened.
I did it, and I have no regrets. But the card is definitely good. It was definitely a good card. I just like I couldn't find a room.
That's the
I,
only
I don't remember
YCS
what
Jib
I
didn't
played
top, by
instead
the
of
way.
that. I feel like I played like Lightning Storm or something.
Yeah. That was the only YCS that Jib didn't top. I
It
blame.
was.
I 100% blame your decision on Salesman, even though Salesman got activated maybe three times for
It
me.
was, it was my fault. Like both like round 10 and 11, day 2, I should have won. I misplayed both times and knocked myself out the tournament. It was my fault.
Jib, I activated this card like maybe three times. One time I activated it, called Imperm, normal summon, and got dropped with it, and then I beat him anyways. It goes in homeless. This card is cool. It has nice interactions, but honestly, it's just not good enough right now. It's just not its time.
Next card is Gordian Slicer. This is a really cool card, and I think it'll have its day one day, but that day is not today. I'll put it in homeless. The next card is Super Polymerization. So this card I actually don't think is that terrible. I put it in meh. Like this card is actually pretty powerful against Yummy.
Mhm.
I don't know how it is against Draco Tail or Mitsurugi. You would probably know better than me, but I don't think the card's bad.
So it really depends on which board they're going for. If they're going for like the combo build of Draco Tail, you can super poly them into Philia Regis. That card is disgusting because it's just like an instant removal. It puts itself back in the extra deck too when you do remove it. So if you have two super polys, you randomly get the access to remake it again, which is epic. Into Yummy, obviously being able to take off their Herald, which is like permanently gone. There's one Herald now. Super awesome. It also removes like one of the synchro bodies they had on the field, which means they're kind of playing with scraps to begin with, which is super amazing. Into Mitsurugi, being able to take their Mitsurugi monsters off of the field and replace them with Garura, so whenever they do decide to like wipe your field, you're able to get a draw off of it. Or it just puts a fusion monster on your field, which lets you force out everything because you can immediately go for SP as like one of your starting options. Great card. I think if your deck can play this like finds its way into like the top tier of good. But if your deck obviously has tight extra deck space, it falls into meh. I think we need to give this card its credit and put it a little bit higher.
Yeah, we can put it. We can boost it to good. It's definitely a good card. I
Mhm.
just didn't know whether to put it in meh or good because of the reasons that you described, like extra deck space. You got to discard a card, and like it's very dependent on the boards that you're expecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Next two cards are Tactics and Thrust. I kind of want to talk about these together because they kind of go together, right? Like Thrust is usually grabbing Tactics or most of the other cards on this list. I'd put them in best. I think that Talents is broken right now. Like Talents is insane. And
Mhm.
similarly, Thrust, I think Thrust is insane also as a go second card, but more as a go first card right now. Thrust is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this is just downright ridiculous. The fact that you can like talents look at your opponent's hand and just like delete the game like instantly and make it over is
Yeah.
insane. It also tells you like what things to play around. This format's super weird because you have to like kind of make gambling decisions on like what you think they have in their hand based on their sequence of plays. Because like into
Mhm.
Yummy, they have like a certain number of plays, and you have to like challenge which play they have. Like they could have Marshmallow, they could have Obedience School, they could have Surprise, and like you have to like line up your disruptions and how you want to interact with each of them. But if you know what they have in their hand, it just makes the game like infinitely easier. And
Yeah.
Thrust being able to add pretty much any card that's on this list at its situational like given time is unfair.
hmm Next is Slayer, Homeless. Unfortunately, this card was pretty solid last format. Now it's like not. And when I say last format, I mean like Rizal format. But like now it's not around.
Yeah, it's just not its time. I think there will definitely be a time when Ultimate Slayer comes back into circulation, but right
Yeah,
now
it's
it's
a
just
great card.
not that great. I will say, in Dude we get a Tri Brigade link, which makes it to where you have like more good link sends, which is super
Mhm.
cool. But anyways, that is pretty much our tier list. I don't think I'd change
Yeah, for
anything,
sure.
Jib. Would you?
No, I think that I'm really satisfied with what we got. Definitely, guys, make sure to like and subscribe if you guys want to see more content like this, more collaborations. Definitely go make sure to check out Lucas Sacco's channel for more amazing Yu-Gi-Oh competitive content. And with that being said, we're out.
Thanks.
Peace.